Everyone, hello. My name is David Jukes. I'm a committee member of the Australia-China Alumni Association. And also I'm one of the people looking after the literature community of ACAA. I think many of you are members of that community. And some of you I know, or some of you I've heard about actually, like Sabrina. So I know that some of you are quite involved with Australia-China relations or trying to improve them anyway. So today we have with us our meeting convener is Tammy Young, and Tammy's based in Melbourne and was the winner of the ACAA video competition last year. So today we have with us Dr. Graeme Ford. Now, Graeme is actually my 悉尼大学同学 from the 70年代. And so we were very good friends then, and we did many things involved with Hanxue and activities in Sydney and also elsewhere in the world. So we're old friends. And Graeme has been teaching translation actually for many years. His research work, his doctorate was on the Translation Bureau of the Ming Dynasty, particularly Persian language translation, which is a really fascinating subject if you're interested in Ming history. But actually he's been involved in teaching modern Chinese translation for a while. So he's taught at Macquarie University and also at TAFE in Sydney. So I think we'll just go straight on to Graeme's talk to us tonight. I think we will have Graeme will talk. He'll interact with the group tonight, and then so you'll be able to ask questions during, and Graeme will ask you questions, and you'll be able to ask him questions. And then afterwards, we have about 20 or 25 minutes for further questions and answers to Graeme about translation. So Graeme, please take it away, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Okay, well, this is the first time I've ever done a Zoom class, so I'll just have to work it out as I go along. But I'm very glad to be here, and it's something I've been wanting to do for some time now. As David said, we're old mates, and I used to live in China. I've lived in Guiyang, and I've lived in Hohhot, and quite a lot of time in Nanjing, where I also went to university. So anyway, not to spend too much time talking about myself, before we get started, let's all agree, all of us language people, not to say translation any longer, but translating, all right? It's translating with an ing, translating and interpreting. It's the act of translating. Save the word translation for the actual thing that is created. That's a translation, all right? So that's very good. Now you can see my little introduction there on the screen. Welcome to this translating tutorial. Blah, 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 blah. I want to go back again when this COVID stuff is over. So there's my little line there that says translating with translation in brackets, and then translating and interpreting, you see? So that's the right way to call it. We'll just go down a little bit further. Now, what I want to show you tonight are some of the aspects of translating a plain information text. Now, this idea of text type is very important in, what our modern grammar. We have our, what we call our functional grammar. So we're focusing in on what's called a plain information text. It just gives information. It doesn't seek to entertain, it doesn't seek to persuade, nothing like that. It just says, you know, blah, 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 blah. Australia is a big country, you know, it's a federation, blah, 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 blah. Just that sort of plain information text. So, Tammy, just scroll down to the first Chinese text for a minute and we'll have a quick look at it. Yeah, that's the one. You see that? That's all just plain information. Just tells you a little bit of history about how Chinese people came to Australia. Just scroll down to the next one now, Tammy. And you can see that's the same. This is a little news item, but it's all just complete information. This happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. So just go back up again now, Tammy, to our first page again. That's it. So here we've got a little text which says, I went to the city with my daughter by train on Sunday. We shopped for handbags in the morning and went to the art gallery in the afternoon. Now, we're going to analyse this sentence. And the first thing we want to do is have a look through and see what are all of the verbs, right? So the first one you can see is what? Somebody say. Come on, you, Qin Xiaojie, what's the first verb in there? Xiaojie, can you hear me?
Sorry. I just trying to find the unmute button. Yeah, went.
Okay, very good. Now, instead of just went, we're going to say I went. All right, we'll call that the verb. Or is that okay? I went. Now, what's the next one then? Come on, Qin Xiaojie, you still keep going.
Shopped.
Yes, and we're going to say we shopped. All right. And what's the next one?
Went.
That's right. And we're going to say we went. Tammy, highlight the I as well. I went. That's right. Yeah. Highlight that one. Yeah. I went. And we shopped and we went. All right. So there are our verbs all done. Now we want to have a look at the time phrases. Wendy, why don't you do the time phrases for us?
First one is on Sunday.
On Sunday, that's right.
Yeah.
And then what about the next one?
In the morning.
In the morning, yeah. That's right.
And the last one is in the afternoon.
And the last one is in the afternoon. That's very good. Okay, that's great. Now, I want to get some more people on my sidebar, but I can't see how to get down.
You can go to view on the top and then it will tell you go side by side gallery.
Oh yeah, that's good. Side by side gallery. Okay, good on you, David. All right, that's good. So let's see who else is here. Fungal, are you there? Is Fungal there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, that's good.
My cat is in front of my screen and blocking me from
that's
the
always
mute
a problem.
button.
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah,
they always want to go on the keyboard. Okay, so
yeah.
So you've been following us, haven't you, Fungal? You have a look now and tell me which are the prepositional phrases in the text.
I think with my daughter.
Well, yes, but before that, we've got another one.
To the city.
To the city, that's right.
Yeah, with my daughter.
With my daughter.
Train.
By train, yes, that's right.
4 handbags.
4 handbags.
In the morning.
In the morning, well, yes, it's a time phrase and a prepositional phrase. Yeah, very good.
Yeah. To the art gallery.
To the art gallery.
And in the afternoon.
In the afternoon, yeah. They're all correct.
Thank you.
So, as you can see, students, this sentence has got verbs and time phrases and prepositional phrases. Now, a prepositional phrase begins with a preposition. So, come on, Eppley, Are you there?
Oh, hi. Yes, I am.
Come on then, Emily, you be the one to say which ones are all of the prepositions.
First one would be to,
The first one would be to, that's right.
with,
With,
by,
good.
on,
That's right.
for,
For,
in,
in,
and then when to and another to and another in.
in, that's right, yeah. To the art gallery is not a preposition. Oh yes, it is too, isn't it? To the art gallery in the afternoon. So anyway, what it says down here, many time phrases are also prepositional phrases. So what we've got is this very interesting sort of thing where you've got a subject, verb, object, prepositional phrase, prepositional phrase, prepositional phrase, prepositional phrase, prepositional phrase, time phrase. See, it's a big long string of prepositional phrases. And now have a look at the next one here. Oh, it's worth just saying that one thing that's interesting about this prepositional phrases and time phrases is that in Chinese, it seems to go backwards, doesn't it? I'm sure you've noticed this yourself. If you look at that first sentence there, I went to the city with my daughter by train on Sunday. The time phrase is at the end. In Chinese, the time phrase would be beginning, wouldn't it? Xing qi qian. And then it says, you know, I, or, and then it would be all the prepositional phrases, wouldn't it? 坐火车, no, 陪我女儿去城里. You see, the prepositional phrases go backwards. So this is a very interesting thing. In Chinese, it goes, I did this under these circumstances at this time. Chinese says, I, under these circumstances, did this. So having this sort of basic kind of pattern in our mind will help us a lot when we're translating our text. Now, the next thing to look at is this thing called a subordinate phrase. You see, I've written it right down at the bottom of the page there. Now, you look at this sentence here. I went to the city by train with my daughter on Sunday because she wanted to buy a handbag. So that because she wanted to buy a handbag is what we're going to call the subordinate phrase. Now, it's very interesting because in Chinese, it still goes backwards. You see? 由于他想买手提包，星期日我陪我女儿坐火车去城里。That's right. So in Chinese, that backwardness is still maintained with the subordinate phrases. So we're going to have all the subordinate phrases and then the subject and then all the prepositional phrases and then the verb and the object at the end. So just scroll down a little bit there, Tammy, and it says, so the order of the phrases runs in opposite directions in the two languages. Now, the important word in that sentence there is phrases. You see that? It's all about the phrases. It's all about moving the phrases around. Within themselves, the phrases are the same in Chinese and English, but the way the phrases are put together is in the opposite order. So there's a little diagram here for you, and it says English goes subject, verb, object, prepositional phrase, time phrase, subordinate phrase. Whereas in Chinese, it goes subordinate phrase, time phrase, subject, prepositional phrase, verb, object. So there you are. Now, while we've got this fresh in our mind, we might as well move down and have a look at our first Chinese text. There it is. Now, somebody made the comment about these texts that they're both, what do you call it, translations from English. And when I read that comment, it sort of, I don't know, it shocked me, and I lay awake all night worrying, how did that happen? And then the conclusion came to me. Because this is ACAA, I wanted it to be texts about Australia, you know. And when you start looking for texts about Australia, it's very difficult to find one that's not a translated text. You'll find that, you see, you look through all of the media and so on. When it comes to items about Australia, many, many, many of them are actual translations. It seems like there's not very much about, not very much plain information text about Australia that's being, you know what I mean, actually produced in Chinese. I think it's probably for obvious reasons. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Let's have a look at our, oh my God. Let's have a look at our Chinese text here. Now, I'm not going to be the one to read this because I'm ashamed of my Uyghur and sort of Chinese pronunciation. So I'll get one of you guys to read it out for us. What about Winnie? Is Winnie Jiang there? Winnie, are you there?
Oh, just wait a minute. Yeah, yes, I'm here. Yeah.
That's good. Why don't you read the text for us? Come on. 20世纪80年代。
20世纪80年代，由于香港、台湾的政治经济形势变化，一大堆港台商人要求投资澳大利亚。他们根据澳大利亚政府的移民政策，以投资移民身份全家移居澳洲。他们经济富有，不少人又没有英语语言障碍，很快就安定下来，过着舒服的生活。这些投资移民有的继续在港台经商，有的往返澳亚两地做进出口贸易，有的在澳洲办企业做房地产。他们为澳大利亚的经济繁荣做出了很大贡献。
All right, that's great. Now, students, what we're going to do is make a little translation of this. We're going to do it what's called sight translation, right? We're going to look at it and we're going to say it. We're not going to write it down. We're just going to look at it and say it. So what we need to do is to look through the text and find our first subject. So, Winnie, are you still there?
Yes.
Come on, what would you say is the first subject there?
一大批港台商人。
That's it, yeah. So what should we say for that? A lot of
businessmen from Hong Kong and Taiwan.
Yeah, okay. Now let's make even do an adjective here and we'll say a lot of Hong Kong and Taiwanese business people. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you say that for me. Come on.
A lot of Hong Kong and Taiwanese businessmen.
Business people, we have
Business
to say.
people.
We've got to be,
Mm-hmm.
this is, we've got to be politically proper.
Mm-hmm.
So there's our subject. Now, what else, what should happen next? It should be...
The verb.
Oh, no, hang on. Before we do that, oh, yes, that's right. The verb is next, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So let's go down to the verb. Let's go down to the verbs. You there, Winnie? Come on.
Yes, yes.
So it would be Yodge towards Audalia, I suppose, isn't it?
Yes. Would like to invest in Australia.
Why don't we just say here wanted? That'll be all right, won't it? Wanted to invest in Australia. Okay. Yeah. Now we go up to the subordinate phrase, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, no. No. Now we go to the time phrase. right? Isn't it?
Mhm.
Now we
Mhm.
go to the time phrase. So,
20世纪80年代
yeah, that's right. So what should we say for that? In the
1980s.
1980s, yeah. So we've got a lot of Hong Kong and Taiwanese business people wanted to invest in Australia in the 1980s. Now comes the subordinate phrase, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. You have a little rest now. Let me see if Feng Feng is there.
Oh, yes, I'm here.
Okay. Why don't you have a go at the subordinate phrase for us? You.
Preposition?
No, the subordinate phrase, because the
Politics of Hong Kong and Taiwan here.
Yes, that's right. Now have a close look. You've got to go very exactly, because the political and economic, isn't it? Jinji situation
Has changed.
Yes, in
Hong Kong and Taiwan.
in Hong Kong and Taiwan. You
And
go back. You see,
maybe-
that's right.
Yeah, and then we said in what kind of time? Yeah. Right.
Yes, that's right. Okay, students, let's all do the whole sentence together. Come on, I'll say it and you say it at the same time as me. Where are we going to start with? A lot, isn't it? A lot of Hong Kong and Taiwanese business people wanted to invest in Australia in the 1980s because the political and economic situation was changing in Hong Kong and Taiwan. Now, I guess you know, don't you, that in English, we don't particularly want to repeat the reference Hong Kong and Taiwan, isn't it? So we'd have to say in those places. So let's have a look at the next one. Sabrina, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Come on, let's you and I have a look at the next one together. So it says, what is it? 他们根据澳大利亚政府的移民政策，以投资移民的身份，全家移居澳洲。Okay, so come on then, Sabrina, where do we start? The subject, isn't it?
Yeah, they. So they.
Now
to-
go to the very end, isn't it, to find the verb?
Yeah, right. Like moved to Australia.
Yeah, now here, EG, we want to say they migrated to Australia for that, all right?
Yeah, migrated to Australia with their
Yeah,
family.
with their families. Go backwards now. 全家
So yeah, with their families.
with their families
As investment migrants.
as investment migrants
Yep, under the Australian government's immigration policy.
under the. Now see this gunju, instead of saying under, we're going to say according to. Is that all right? Just a very standard just translating way. So that's good then, Sabrina. Let's do it again. Come on, you and me together. They. Sabrina there?
Oh yeah, they migrated to Australia
With
with
their
their
families.
as investment migrants, according to the Australia government's immigration policy.
Yes, that's exactly right. That's very good. Okay, well, let's move on to the next. Let's move on to the next sentence then, shall we? Oh, I get it. Sorry, everyone. I'm a bit. I'm not very good with this. Are you there, Daniel? Daniel Huang? Let's see if Daniel Huang's there. Could you hear me, Tammy?
Yes, I can hear you. I guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe try someone else. Daniel might be busy.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Edison? Are you there?
Well, I just invite Addison to unmute. Come on.
Never mind. We'll try someone else.
How about Alex?
Alex, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, Alex, that's good. We're still going then. Come on.
Okay.
You have a look at the next sentence for us. Our subject, which would be
Subject, Tommen,
Amen, that's right.
and what's your next question, please?
I want you to keep on translating the sentence together with me. Come on.
Okay, so they soon settled down and lived a comfortable life.
No, we're up at this one. See the highlighted sentence there? 他们经济富有.
Okay, 他们经济 sorry, I was a little bit confused here. So
No, that's all right. Off you go. Come on, they were well off.
What would you want from me? I mean, do you want me to read the sentence?
No, I want you to translate it into English.
Yeah,
with
that was
me.
exactly where I was going. Okay.
Yeah, good.
So here, they soon settled down and lived a comfortable life.
Oh, yes, I get it. Yes, very good. Yeah.
So,
You're 3 steps ahead of me. Okay, keep going.
because they were financially wealthy,
Yes,
and many of them do not have English language barriers.
that's right. Very good. Gee, you're right on the ball, Alex. That's I'm very impressed with that. Now, you just say it again for us, will you?
Okay. They soon settled down and lived a comfortable life because.
That's right. Now, just stop there for a minute.
Okay.
See that lived a comfortable life, because you got the subject they, make the lives plural. You see that? They soon settled down and lived comfortable lives. All right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then because
they were financially wealthy.
yeah, now financially is more like jinsai, you know what I mean? This is more jinji, economically, we want to say.
Yes, I get it. But here I had a question about the source text, because you know, 经济富有 is a little bit awkward or unnatural in Chinese. Probably we would say
I understand. Yes,
经
I
济
understand.
富足 or 他们有钱. That's I think enough.
I understand that. I understand that, Alex. I explained before, you know, these are texts that I obtained from, you know, Australian media, and many of them are, you know, translated in, you know, sort of odd ways. But us as a translator, you know, our job is just to sort of deal with, you know, the text as we, you know, as we get it,
Yes.
as we see it. I appreciate what you're saying. That's quite right. Yeah. So anyway, just have a look at the text as it stands is all that the translator can do. And we say something like, you know, they were economically well off or something like that. And what's the next one on? You said Busharan.
And many of them do not have English language barriers.
That's very good. Now there's a word there that you've got is Busharan yu, meyo. What's this yu? It starts with EI.
EI.
Yes, it's either.
Okay.
Or either, whichever way you want to say it. So many of them didn't have language barriers either. So
Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, so that's pretty good. All right, let's just go through the whole thing once more, and we'll go on to the next one. Come on, you and me together. They soon settled down, isn't it? I think that was very clever of you to say soon for quai. Of course, that's the right way to do that. Come on, me and you, Alex. They soon settled down.
They soon settled down and lived comfortable lives.
Yes, that's right.
Because they were economically wealthy,
Yes, that's right.
and many of them do not have English language barriers either.
That's right. Very good. Okay, well, we'll say goodbye to you for a minute. Is Yen Chen there?
Sorry, may I ask a question here?
Yes, is that Yen Chen speaking?
No, it's Fang Fang speaking.
Oh, yes.
Well, my
Yeah.
question is about that sentence, 他们经济富有. I just wonder if we can just simply say because they were wealthy.
Yes, they were wealthy, of course. Yes, that's probably a good way to do it. Indeed, that's what it basically means, isn't it, in English? Yeah, because they were wealthy, and many of them.
Yeah.
Very good, very good points. Who
Wouldn't
am I
we
speaking
say-
to?
wouldn't we say they were well off, actually?
They were well off. Yes, that's right.
In Australia,
Well-
you'd say they're well off.
Yeah.
Well, yes, David, well off is a good way to do it as well. Who am I speaking to at the moment?
Sorry?
Who am I speaking to?
I just asked this question.
Yeah,
I'm Fang Fang.
what's your name? I can't see clearly who I'm talking.
I'm Fang Fang.
Oh, it's you, Fang Fang. Okay, come on. Well, let's you and I stick together and do the next little bit.
Oh, really? This one's hard.
Easy. Come on, the subject first.
Those investment migrants.
Yes.
So just read this sentence again.
Start off with Yoda. Some of these.
Oh yes, some of these investment migrants
Very good.
continues to doing business in Hong
Yes.
Kong and Taiwan.
Yes, that's right.
Some
Very
of
good.
them, I'm not sure how to say 往返.
Let's do that later. We have to come back to that. That's a prepositional phrase. Go right to the end and look at the verb first.
Okay.
Come and
They have done a large contribution to economic.
no. 他们做进出口贸易.
Oh, okay. They have done, how to say 进出口?
Import export.
Oh yes. Sorry, I'm too nervous.
Come on, you're doing very well.
Well, they were doing import and export business.
Yes, now you go up to Wang Fan. Between.
Are you talking me again or otherybody else?
Where are you, Fang Fang?
Oh
You
yes,
still
thank you.
there?
Yeah, and between Australia and so we have a so it means Asian.
I think so, yes, between
Okay,
Australia
between-
and Asia. Yeah.
Yeah, Asian.
I think 两地, we just leave that out. That's like a measure word, you know what I mean? It's like a 量词, yeah. So, and what's the last little bit then? Come on, Tammy. Oh, no, you can stop there. Let's do that bit that we've done so far. So these,
Some of
come on,
these,
Tammy.
some of
Some of
these,
these,
some of these investment migrants were doing business. Continued to doing business within Hong Kong and Taiwan.
not based in, just in Hong Kong and Taiwan. Yes.
Yeah, Hong Kong and Taiwan. And some of them doing
Did. Keep on
did
saying did, yeah.
did import and export business.
Export
With
trade, here it is.
trade, trade between Australia and Asia.
Very well done. That's
Oh,
great.
thank you.
Okay, well, what about Eppley? Is Eppley there?
Yes, hi, Graeme.
Come on, Eppley, let's you and I do the last little bit. Yoda.
Some of them started their business and invested in real estate in Australia.
Yeah.
They contributed largely to the economic prosperity. They contributed largely to the Australian economic prosperity.
Yeah, I think you got it. That's right. So let's go back again and do it again. Come on, the order. So Audalia, what did you say for Banchiye?
Started their own business.
Yeah, something like that. Well, let's say something like, you know, ran businesses, maybe, or something like that. Or you could say started businesses. Yeah. Pluralized businesses, you see?
Businesses, yeah.
Yeah, they ran businesses and Zuofengdi Chan. Now stick to the text. What does it say? They did
real estate.
Yeah, real estate. That's it. They
real
did real estate. I think that's enough to say. We can just say. So some of them ran businesses and did real estate in Australia. Okay, go back to the prepositional phrase. And then what did you say, Taman?
They made a large contribution to the economic prosperity.
In Australia.
Yeah, in Australia. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, it's a prepositional phrase. You see, you go backwards. Okay, so Taman, they
ran businesses and did real estate. They made a large contribution to the economic prosperity in Australia.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Now, see that they made a large contribution. You did it right the first time. Make it not from contribution, like a noun. In English, everything has to go like a verb. They contributed, you know? They contributed a lot.
Yeah. They contributed a lot to the
economic prosperity in Australia. Now, don't say to the economic prosperity. It's every economic prosperity. It's just to economic, what is it? Prosperity, in Australia. All right, very good. You've done that very well. Come on, students, let's go back to the beginning now. We'll just have a quick run through the whole thing. You ready? Where do we start? Idapi, isn't it? Come on, we'll all say it together. You ready? A lot of, you're saying it with me? A lot of Hong Kong and Taiwanese business people wanted to invest in Australia in the 1980s because the political and economic situation was changing in those places. They migrated to Australia with their families as investment migrants, according to the Australian government's immigration policy. They were wealthy, good. And Busharan, what did you say before there, Alex? Busharan, many of them, was it? Many of them, oh, no, that's right. They were well off and they soon settled down and led comfortable lives because Busharan, what should we say, most of them or many of them didn't have, oh no, because they were well off. Yeah, sorry, Alex, you got it right and I couldn't figure it out myself. Let's start off again. They soon settled down. That's where it begins, isn't it? They soon settled down and lived comfortable lives because they were wealthy and most of them didn't have English language barriers either. All right, we got through that finally. These economic migrants, now see this issue here, students, instead of saying continued to, which is a sort of high register, we want to use the word keep, to keep doing something, you see? These economic migrants kept, they kept, what is it, doing business, that's right. They kept doing business in Hong Kong and Taiwan and doing import-export trade between Australia and Asia. Some of them ran businesses and did real estate in Australia. they contributed a lot to economic prosperity in Australia. Okay, that's fair enough. Let's go and have a look at our second text now, and we'll see what that looks like. Now, this one is quite interesting. Again, it's obviously a translation, from English into Chinese. This comes from the SBS Zhongwen sort of site. And you probably know by now that, the SBS Zhongwen provides a lot of, Chinese language news texts. So let's have a quick look at this one. I'll just see who's here with us. What about, is Daniel there? Daniel Huang, are you there? Maybe not. What about Helen Zhang? Is Helen Zhang there?
I think Daniel.
Oh, David.
Yes,
Daniel.
sorry. Yeah,
you're there, Daniel?
away. Yeah.
Okay, good man. Come on.
Yeah, in South Queensland, a 4-year-old girl was tested positive on COVID.
Yeah, all right. Now, start with the verb, start with the subject.
Okay, a 4-year-old girl
That's
was
right.
tested positive on COVID in South Queensland.
Yes, that's very good. Now you've got it. So yeah, a 4-year-old girl, CO verb here, tested. Let's use the has, right? A 4-year-old girl has tested positive, because we don't have there's no time phrase here. We don't know when it was. Yeah, you get it? Yeah. So a 4-year-old girl has tested positive
on COVID.
For COVID.
For
yeah,
COVID.
No, it's got, look, what's this Xinguan? Is this called like new COVID, is it, or what?
COVID-19.
Coronavirus.
Yeah, okay, we'll just call it COVID anyway, isn't it? Because it's that's good enough. Yeah, it's tested COVID positive for COVID in South Queensland. All right, that's very good. Now listen, you might as well stay with me, Daniel, and we'll do the next one together.
该女童是当地政府区域 Logan 一名具有
I tell you what, Daniel,
yeah,
you just read the whole sentence out for us, for everybody, will you, before you start? Come on.
OK， 该女童是当地政府区域 Logan 一名具有传染性卡车司机的密切接触者。
Yes, that's right. It's a bit awkward, isn't it, the Chinese? But we'll do our best.
Okay.
We're translators. That's all we can do. So, what's our subject then?
Okay, the girl.
Very good. That's great.
Yeah, was a close contact of a contagious lorry driver. In 当地政府区 in Logan in a local district called Logan.
Yes, that's right. I think
in the 政府区 governmental.
Let's keep going backwards here, and we say in the Logan local government area, maybe.
Yeah, in the Logan government area, right?
Local government area.
Right. In the
地方政府, yeah. Oh no, in the local. Yes, this is in the Logan local government area. That's right. It's a 地方政府. Yeah. Okay, so let's do all that again now. Come on, Logan. The girl. I thought that was very clever of you to say that.
The girl was a close contact of a contagious what's catcher 司机?
Catcher is a truck. The catcher is a truck mate. He's a truck driver.
Yeah, truck driver. living in
No, not
Logan.
living in, just in.
Oh
You
yeah,
gotta
in
stick to the text, yeah.
yeah, in a local government district called Logan.
No, in the Logan local government district.
Or in
No,
the Logan, in the Logan local government district.
District. Maybe district is not the right word. Maybe we should say area there.
Area,
Logan,
right.
local government area. Yeah.
In the Logan local government area.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay, that's good. All right. Well, I'll say goodbye to you now for a minute and see if Rick is there. Are you there, Rick? Rick Wu, are you there? Maybe not. What about Dong Mei? Dong Mei Man Dong Mei?
Hello.
Hello, Dong Mei. Come on. Let's you and I have a look at the next bit now.
Can I read the sentence first?
That would be great.
在昆州报告了零新增本地病例后，子名女童于周五9月3日确诊新冠阳性。
Very good. Now, you can see here that we've got a subordinate phrase, isn't it? So we want to leave that to the end. So where's our subject?
The girl.
The girl, that's right.
The girl was confirmed to be positive on Friday, September the 3rd, after the Queensland reported the zero increase.
Yes, Bing Li.
病例 cases,
that's right. Yes, right. And 本地病例 in local cases. Yeah, that's right.
Local cases.
All right, that's very good. Come on, let's go back to the beginning and do it again. The girl.
The girl was confirmed to be positive on
leave
Friday.
Leave out to be here. Just say girl was confirmed positive. Come on.
Yeah. The girl was confirmed positive on Friday, September the 3rd.
All right, now stop there for a minute. In Australia, we have to go back the other way. We have to say Friday, the 3rd of September. All right, the 3rd of September. Come on, you can do that. So the girl was confirmed positive on Friday,
the 3rd of September.
Yes, that's right.
After Queensland reported zero increase of local cases.
Yeah. See this word 新增, isn't it? 新增本地病例. For 新增, instead of increase, let's just say new. 0 new local cases, all right? That should be all right. So, all right. That's pretty good, Jungmei. I'll say goodbye to you now and see if I can find some of the other students here.
0 new local cases.
0 new local cases.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was great. I'm just trying to navigate now. What about Li Chiu? Ni Li Chiu, are you there?
Yes.
Come
I'm
on.
with you. Yes.
Yeah, we'll let you and I look at the next one together. You read it out first of all in Chinese for us.
So
this looks a bit difficult.
Yeah. So the highlighted sentence.
Yes, that's right. 本周.
Yeah. Okay. I will. Thank you. 本周二及周三，此名女童去往了位于 Mount Warren Park 的一家早教中心。
Oh my God. All right. So you know what to do. You find the subject first, isn't it?
Yeah, this Tuesday and Wednesday.
No, that's the time phrase, mate. That's going to come at the end. You've got to find the subject first. 子女同, 子
Yeah,
名女
so
同,
this
the
girl,
g- Now we're just going to say the girl.
the girl,
Yeah.
okay, the girl went to a early child center located in Mount Warren Park this Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yes, that's right. Very good. So that was pretty easy, wasn't it? Let's just say it again. The girl.
I'm lucky. Yeah, thank you.
Come on. You're going to say it the last time before we leave it? The girl.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The girl
Yeah, I
went
will
to...
try again. Yeah, thank you. The girl went to an early child center.
Hey, look, see this.
Childcare center. Sorry.
This 早教中心. Let's
yeah, 早教中心
let's call it an early education.
Early
education center.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you. Early education center. Okay, let me try start again.
Yes.
So yeah, so the girl went to an early education center located in Mount Warren Park this Tuesday and Wednesday.
All right. Now that was so easy that you better stick with me and we do the next one as well. You ready?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so read it out for us first.
Yeah, thank you. 该早教中心的其他儿童、工作人员和访客均需接受检测并隔离14天。
All right, so
Yeah.
So now let's just stick to our principles and find the subject first.
Yeah.
I think that's it,
All
isn't it?
other children. Yeah. All other children, staff members and visitors of this early education center must have COVID test and be isolated for 14 days.
Yes, that's right. See this goody. Let's just use the verb form here and isolate for 14 days.
14 days.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, now go back to the beginning here. It says 这早教中心. Now we've already mentioned 早教中心 in the previous sentence there, you see?
Yeah.
Now in English, we don't want to repeat that reference. We're just going to say the center, right? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
called,
the center.
That's called referencing, yeah. So,
Okay.
So where do we start? We say the other children, isn't it?
Yeah, correct. Yes. The other children, staff members and the visitors of the center.
Now stop there. Don't say of here. We want to say at the center.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, at the center. Okay. Yeah, let me try again.
Yeah.
So all other children, staff members and the visitors at the center.
At the center, yeah.
Yeah, so must have a COVID test.
Yes.
And be quarantined for 14 days.
No, that's not what it says. It just says girly. It's not quarantine, it's just isolate, isn't it? Isolate. Isolate for 14 days.
Yeah, so but girly also say quarantine, is that right? Just hotel quarantine.
That's also the word for quarantine, is it? All right, and in that case, let's use that, we'll say, and quarantine for 14
days. Yes.
Yeah, fair enough. That's good. Okay, now, I wanted to say something else here. See, this must be, isn't it?
Yes, must be quarantine.
Yeah, yes, must be. Oh, yeah, that's right. Let's leave it as must be. That's good.
Correct.
Right, so let's go down to the next one now. And I'll leave you for a moment and see if Mia is there. Are you there, Mia? Mia Chong?
Yes, sir.
Can you
Come
hear
on,
me?
man. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Come on, let's you and I do this now. The last little bit together. You read it out
Okay.
for us first.
虽然昆州州长帕拉11对儿童未接种疫苗表示担忧，但目前世界上任何地方都没有批准用于12岁以及以下儿童的新冠疫苗。
Oh, my goodness. All right, so let's have a look at this sentence. I think we've got a subordinate phrase first here, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm not
right.
sure what to do here.
So I guess
No,
I should start.
I think we'll just leave it as it is. Let's just start and find our subject first.
Yeah, 世界上任何地方。Nowhere in the world.
Yes, that's right.
Nowhere in the world has approved the COVID vaccine for children below 12 years old.
Yes, that's right. Now, you just say that again for me. 目前, right, that's a time phrase. 世界上任何地方都没有批准. You just say it again for me.
So by far, no place in the world has approved Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Has approved COVID vaccine for children below 12 years old.
Yes, that's very good. Now, what we want to do here, students, is to try to turn it from active into passive. You see that? Because there's no subject. So we want to say, no, a virus. Well, let's start with the end. We say corona email. What's that? Vaccine for
no vaccine.
Children. For children
okay, I see.
12.
Yeah, right. So no vaccine for children below 12 years old has been approved
Anywhere
in the world.
In the world, yeah. You see how we go backwards there? So we can say no corona vaccine for children under 12 has been approved anywhere in the world. Very good. It goes completely backwards. Come on, you do it for me again. No coronavirus, no corona vaccine.
No corona vaccine for children under 12 years old has been approved anywhere in the world.
That's very
so
good.
far.
See this? Yeah, so far, that's right. Muchen, yes, that's right. So far, very good. The time phrase at the end, brilliant. Yeah, see this 12 years old. In our vernacular English, we would just say children under 12. You understand?
Yeah, I see.
The years, yeah, the years old is like a measure word. You know, you sort of leave that out. Yeah. All right, so that's pretty good. Come on, students, let's all go back to the beginning now and have another quick look at it before we finish up. You ready? So, a 4-year-old girl, isn't it? 4-year-old girls, we better get somebody to sort of lead us in this. Where should we go? Rick, Helen, Dung-Mei. Yeah. What about we go back to you then, Alex? Are you ready to have another go?
Yes.
Come on, we'll do the whole text from the beginning, and you sort of lead us, and we'll all follow you.
Okay, so just a little. Just before I begin, I might I might add a little bit my own version into this translation, if that's okay.
Yeah, come on, you do it and we'll listen to you.
So a 4-year-old girl in Southeast Queensland has tested positive for COVID-19.
Very good. I'm very happy with that. Yes, please continue.
The girl is a close contact of an infectious truck driver at the local government area of Logan.
Your prepositions, mate. She's a close contact with a truck driver, isn't it? And it must be in or something like that. You have another go at that sentence. The girl.
The girl is a close contact with an infectious truck driver in the local government area of Logan.
Of Logan, all right. You can say it the other way around, in the Logan local government area.
Yes, local government area.
Yeah, that's right. All the adjectives. Okay, keep going, mate. You're doing extremely well. I'm very impressed.
Thank you. The third sentence, the case was confirmed on Friday, the 3rd of September, after Queensland reported 0 new locally acquired cases sometime earlier.
That's really good. Sometime earlier.
Yeah, I think that might be informative to the reader.
Because, makes it a bit clearer, yeah. All right, please carry on. I can see we're dealing with a linguistic genius here, so that's very good. Come on, Bunjo.
Okay, the child attended an early learning center at Mount Warren Park on Tuesday and Wednesday this week.
Very good, yes.
And the next one.
Yes, please.
Okay, of the children, staff, and visitors in the center have been asked to come forward for testing and then quarantine or isolate for 14 days.
That's very good. It's very good. Have been asked, I think, is a very good way of translating shoot. That's right.
Yeah, because
so
I think if we use must or should, that's a bit, demanding.
It's a bit demanding. You're quite right, and you're doing that very well. Just read it again for us one more time, so we can hear what you've done.
So the sentence.
The same one. Guides all
okay. The children, staff, and visitors in the center have been asked to come forward for testing and then quarantine for 14 days.
Right, that's right. Now, see the thing with the center. I want to say at the center.
Yeah,
do you understand?
Yeah, that's a better one. Yeah, at the center.
At is for big places that are public and anyone can go to. Yeah, that's right. Keep going now. Very good.
Okay. The last one. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce the premier's name.
Well, you can see it down there below, and her name is Anastasia Palaszczuk. It's pronounced.
Don't worry,
Palaszczuk.
no one knows how to pronounce it. He doesn't pronounce it correct.
It's a really tricky name, I have to say.
Well, all of the staunch.
It's Polish name, I think.
I think it must be Polish. That's right.
Polish,
so it's got the sound shay at the end. Palaszczuk.
Palaszczuk.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, I will try my best. Queensland Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk. Sorry for this. Had expressed her concerns that children under 12 are unable to be vaccinated. Okay, here's my own version. Yet there's not a place in the world that has approved COVID vaccines for under 12s.
Say the last bit again for us, mate.
Okay, yet there is not a place in the world that has approved COVID vaccines for under 12s.
Yes, that's all right, but I don't think you should start your sentence with yet. You know what I mean? Yet.
Yeah.
It's a bit old-fashioned. It's a bit Dickensian. You know what I mean? So we just say.
What about however?
However, or but. Yes.
But
right.
Okay.
Yeah. But's good. Yeah. So come on, do it now with but.
But there's not a place in the world that has approved COVID vaccines for under 12s.
All right, now, not a place, mate. You want to change that to nowhere.
Nowhere.
Yeah, there's nowhere in the world.
But nowhere in the world that has approved COVID vaccines for under 12s.
All right, that's all right. That's fair enough. I wanted to make that a passive voice. So see if you can do it in a passive way. Come on.
Well, this is what I'm trying to avoid because we were taught that passive voices in these sentences, or especially in news reports, are not good enough. So we,
I don't
try to use
I don't
the active
actually,
voices.
No, I don't actually
No?
agree with that. No, it's not whether it's good or not. It's all to do with the actual text itself. It's all to do with the Chinese grammar text itself. You have another
Okay,
look at
yeah.
it. You look at it with me. 但目前世界上任何地方都没有批准. See, there the verb is 没有批准. There's no subject for 没有批准 anywhere in the sentence, you see. 任何地方 is not the subject, it's a prepositional phrase. So that's what we want to sort of use passive in that form. In that case, grammatically, I'm talking about, not whether it's good or not, but just grammatically, where there's no subject in the sentence, then it's grammatically sort of in the passive voice. So that's why I wanted to say, no COVID vaccine for, under 12-year-olds has been approved anywhere in the world so far. That's just the reason that I wanted to explain that to you. Do you understand? Where there's no grammatical subject in the sentence, then it's best to go for the passive. All right. Anyway, Alex, thank you. And as I said before, that's pretty good. What do you do, Alex? What work do you do?
I'm a translator, actually.
You're a translator.
Yes, I do this for a living.
Oh, you do it for a living. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're in the same profession. Do you translate a lot from Chinese into English?
In both directions.
In both directions.
Yes.
Oh, that's very good. Okay. Well, I've come to the end of my little class for tonight, and I'd just like to thank everybody for coming along. You can see my contact down there at the bottom, graemford@hotmail.com. If any of you want to, write out a little translation of the text that we've done and send it along to me, then I'll be very glad to put some little highlights on it and send it back to you. So, okay, then, well, we'll go back to, I'll say good night to you now, and thank you again.
Before you leave, Graeme,
Yeah.
before you leave, Graeme, thank you. Firstly, thank you very much for doing that. I think maybe after the meeting, we'll ask people who've registered if they would like to continue to have such courses done by Graeme. We could do them, regularly, once a month or once every 2 months.
Yeah, that would be a good thing. Yeah.
It might be if people are interested in doing that and enjoyed the lesson this evening like I did, then we could certainly continue it in the ACAA literature community and also in the translation and cross-culture community. And the second thing is, before Graeme goes, maybe we have a little bit of time left in the meeting, so maybe we could have 5 minutes if there are any questions for Graeme. Does anyone have any questions about the text or about translating or anything like that?
Or anything at all? Come on, students, speak up. Any questions?
And we also have some present for the best question.
Oh, yes, that's right. I forgot about that. Yes. Okay. Yes, we have a yes. All right. Dongmei said she's very interested, and thank you. And there's a lot of thanks. Questions first before thanks. Any questions? Come on, somebody.
Yeah. Hi, David. I'm interested in the little lessons. Yeah. So that's good. Very good point. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, may I know the first passage? So where is the passage from? Passage 1.
Where did it come from? I'm not sure. I think it was written a long time ago. It might have been some kind of an article, in a little newspaper or magazine or something like that. Some kind of little media sort of thing. I actually don't remember where that originally came from. It's quite an old sort of text. Why do you ask?
Because I found some punctuations. Yeah, so I don't think that's in the right way.
Oh yes, that's right. Of course. Yeah, no, that's right. I honestly don't know who. I don't know who made that. Who made that text, but it's certainly. You know, like I say, as translators, you know, we've sort of got to. We've just got to take the text as it is, you know, and try to make the best of it. So I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Graeme, we have a question here from Eppley.
Yeah,
what do you think is the most challenging thing about translating?
I don't know. It's hard to say, Eppley. It depends on what kind of translating you want to do. If you're really doing translating, you know, like professionally, you know, like somebody's paying you to do it, the most daunting thing is that you often have to work to a deadline. You know, you have to force yourself, you know, to go over to the laptop, you know, and drive your way, you know, through these things. But once again, it depends on what kind of text it is that you're doing. We translated a text. It was a book about cars in China that was written by a well-known Chinese journalist, and the style was very journalistic. It wasn't a plain information text. As journalism, it sort of sought to entertain, you know, and it was all full of, you know, quotations from Mao's poems and quotations from Sang Guoyini and, you know, all of that kind of stuff all the way through. And as a translator, you know, you have to do a lot of research to try to find out what it is, and that's what I find the most difficult, or, you know, the difficult or daunting. It's just the actual you know, trying to do all of that kind of thing under pressure is one of the hard things about translating. What I've found though is, when you're under pressure like that to finish the translation, you mustn't try to hurry through the translation. You know, you'll go on deliberately, you know, word by word, sentence by sentence. I don't know what that is. Look it up, I'll search it out, I'll find it, then I'll come back and I'll keep on going. You're going to go at a very sort of deliberate pace, of course, through the whole thing.
Thanks, Graeme. There's a question from Sabrina Miaoyu. How do we identify the main and subordinate clause in a sentence?
Well, the subordinate clause in the Chinese sentence usually comes first. You know, it's all of those kind of clauses that start with words like 由于, you know, and 虽然, and so on. You know, sometimes they're hard to identify because in Chinese they don't mark themselves with a 由于 or a 虽然. You know, they just state that, and then when you come down and realize, oh, that is all because this happened. That's right. And there's no real way of identifying them except just keep your wits about you. But, you know, often you find in Chinese, you know, if it's a long sentence, for example, yeah, this first sentence is very likely to be the subordinate clauses. You know, if you go for the subject, verb, object, you know, first, that means you've confined the beginning of the sentence. And then if you look for the time phrases and so on, that will also give you a clue, because remember, the subordinate phrase comes after the time phrase. So sometimes the time phrase is in there as a little marker, you see, to show you where the subordinate phrase ends and the main phrase begins. Yeah.
I think we have to we need to do a class once on the difference between translating modern Chinese and classical Chinese. Because I was just while you were talking about word order and grammar order, I was thinking I've just been recently looking at this paper by Professor Danny Kane, and some of you who studied at Macquarie or in Australia or elsewhere will know about him. He recently passed away. But just the influence of Altaic languages on modern Chinese that completely changed the way that sentences have been structured. from classical Chinese. So maybe once we can do something about a course about that. That would be so interesting, about the difference of translating classical and modern Chinese into English.
I think that's a very interesting subject, and the whole idea about modern Chinese. You were saying that Danny was writing about, what is it, the influence of Altaic on Chinese? Yeah. Well, when you say Altaic, that means Da Mongol, the Great Mongolian Empire. That's right. You see, Chinese kind of transformed, after the Great Mongolian Empire, and that's where, well, what we call Hanyu, really begins. You know how the Mongolians divided China? At first they took over the north of China, Jingguo, and then there was this Nansung, down here. You see, so the Mongols already controlled the north, but Nansung was still sort of Chinese. So these people became called Hanren, and these people came to be called Nanren, you see. So you had the Hanren, and the Nanren. That's right. So what we call Hanyu is not Hanzu de Yuyan, it's Hanren de Yuyan, you see, the language of the North people. And this is when Chinese, begins to disyllabize, to make little disyllables all the way through. I'd love to do a little court class about that, David. That'd be nice.
There are 2 more questions. We'll go through them quickly, and then I think Tammy will announce the winners of the draw. The first question is from Winnie, my friend Winnie in Sydney. In the structure with 1 adjective and 2 nouns, how can I determine whether the adjective modifies both nouns or just the first noun after it? For example,
I'm not sure.
I like beautiful clothes and flowers.
Oh, I like beautiful clothes and flowers. Oh, yes. That's right. That's a very interesting question. It sounds like I like beautiful clothes and I like flowers, isn't it? Yeah. You're talking about in English how to do that. If I was writing a novel, I would say, Jenny was a girl who liked beautiful clothes and liked flowers. I would say it twice just to make it clear. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, there's no way in English of really distinguishing that unless you repeat your verb again. Does that answer your question, Winnie?
Yes. Men Dongmei has commented that maybe the context can decide.
Of course, the context can decide, yes.
Also, and Gaofang said, put the flowers before beautiful clothes.
I like, what is it? Beautiful flowers.
I like flowers and beautiful clothes.
I was thinking if you really want to differentiate whether beautiful is defining both the nouns, so just to change the order, you just say flowers separately and then you say beautiful clothes. I'm not sure whether it works.
I like flowers and beautiful clothes. It works. I like flowers and beautiful clothes works extremely well. And of course, yes, that's right. Going backwards is always a good thing to do.
Yeah, to avoid the ambiguity, maybe.
Here's another comment from Feng Feng. How about the Oxford comma? I don't even know what an Oxford comma is. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not sure what an Oxford comma is, but what would an Oxford comma be?
What is it, Feng Feng? Comma before the end.
Oh, the Oxford comma, the comma before the end.
Before the end.
All I can say is that I'm very much in favor of the Oxford comma, if it makes it clear, especially if there are big long strings of phrases, da 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 comma, and he also, did painting in his spare time. Yeah, in that case, I think the Oxford comma, is a good thing. I'm in favor.
let's go on to the last question from JS. As a non-native Chinese speaker, what was the biggest challenge you faced in learning a second language, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah. It's hard to say. I've been learning Chinese for so long now. You know, I mean, David and I started it right back straight after Gough Whitlam, you know, established diplomatic relations with China, you know, in 1972, 73. Bang, we were in the Chinese department. And David and I, we did a lot of, you know, classical Chinese as part of the old curriculum back there. So we're real whiz-bang, you know, classical Chinese kind of readers. And we found a lot of trouble. But I suppose just generally speaking, you know, the first thing that foreigners have got to do, first of all, I think it's much easier for Chinese people to learn English than it is for, you know what I mean, not for Australians, say, to learn Chinese. A lot of different reasons for that. But, you know, there are very few foreigners, you know, who speak Chinese. They're a small group, but everyone can speak English, you know. I go to Chongqing, you know, and the waitress in the restaurant can speak English. So, you know what I mean? English is just spreads like a big, when you learn English, you're like jumping into a big river, you know, it's flowing down to the sea, you know, and you're sort of going down with it. But when you're learning Chinese, you're swimming against the tide, you know what I mean? You try to swim upstream, you know, and you know, if somebody says to you, why are you learning English? Well, it's obvious why you're learning English, you know. But when people say, well, you know, why are you learning Chinese? You know, and you think, well, why am I learning Chinese? You know what I mean? It's, you know, it's not expected, you know, that foreigners will learn Chinese. You know, there's all these kind of sort of cultural, you know, currents, I suppose you say. But what we guys did back in uni, back in those old days, we all used to carry little bungee bins around with us, you know, and we all used to write Chinese characters. Learning the Chinese character script, that's a big, you know, that's a big barrier, and not many Waigwaran actually do that. But David and I both did that. We sat down and made sure that we can, you know, we know at least, you know, 1,200, you know, Chinese characters. It was interesting back in those old days here in Australia, you know, before we established diplomatic relations with China, we all used fantizi. So David and I sort of went to uni all writing, you know, the complex forms of Chinese characters. And it wasn't until we were sort of nearing our time at Sydney University and starting to go over to China and, you know, Waigwa Liu Xuesheng, you know, that we started to learn, you know, Jiantizi. And, you know, now, you know, I'm very much in favor. I'm sure all of you people will know both Fantizi and Jiantizi. It's not that difficult, really, after all, is it? The difference, I mean. But yeah, learning the script. Another thing is learning the tonality. You know, how many foreigners do you know, who can speak Chinese, you know, with the correct tonality? You know, most foreigners get this blah, 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 blah. You know, this is kind of, you know, gabbling sort of, you know, Chinese, you know, but, you know, you find very few who can really, you know, get all the tones right and everything. I mean, how do you do that? It's all right for you. You've learned Chinese at your mother's knee. You know what I mean? You grew up learning, you know, learning Chinese and so on. For us, we've got to learn it from the outside. Now we think, okay, the word is zhou. It means weak. Now, is it first tone, second tone, third tone, or fourth tone? We've got to remember that in our mind as well. You know, there's so many little memory bits that have to go in, you know. So you're trying to read big, long passage, you know, I think, and thinking, what's the tone, what's the tone, what's the tone, you know, you've got to know all those different tones and then try to say them properly. So yeah, I think, you know, that's a big barrier to learning Chinese. So
this is Graeme but I think I want to add something to about learning a second language, and I think because Chinese is sort of an extreme version for an English-speaking person, an extreme version of learning a second language.
Yes, that's true.
I think there are two things. One is you have to devote a lot of time and hard work especially in the first year. And the second thing is you have to make it interesting and fun. And that's what we did at university. We had a club, we met together, we went out, we ate Chinese food. We learned to sing a lot of Chinese songs, Minge and German Gochu at the time, and all sorts of songs. And so we were always the best amongst all foreign students in China in singing songs. We had a Chinese music orchestra. We're talented people. Graeme is a very talented singer and pianist, and I was a singer. And then we had other foreigners who played the Yangqian.
I played the erhu, David.
Yeah, yes, I forgot about that. Yes, Graeme played. So, and we used to perform for the Chinese community because at that time there were almost no people in Sydney who spoke Mandarin as their native language. They were all
right. Yeah. Yes, it was the middle 70s. That's right. It was the early middle 70s. Yeah.
I would say the most important thing is hard work and make it fun, make it enjoyable, and so you may swim against the current, but you will enjoy the coolness of the water.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Can I just add something to that, David?
Yeah.
I think it's important for you to remember when you're learning a language that language is a form of behavior. It's a type of behavior. So when you learn a language, you've got to use behavioristic or behavioral types of methods. You understand what I'm saying? When you're learning history or economics or something, that's all cognitive, that's all cognitive. That's all knowledge that you put in, and sort of save up in your mind. But this behavioral is different. It's about how you do, how you act, how you perform. And that's done behaviorally. So it's like training. It's like a form of making, training your collie dog, to jump through the hoops. You've got to have tasks that are not too difficult. You've got to repeat the tasks, and you've got to have a reward at the end. You've got to get. If you're on your own, then you've got to reward yourself. That's right, for getting the task right. The reward's very important, in behavioral kind of learning.
Alex, there are two good comments now. One said, Sabrina said, karaoke helps a lot, you see. And Alex said, 北翻译当我成了音乐家. So we became interpreters instead of musicians.
Yes, that's right, yes. Thank goodness.
And JS said, oh, right. He said, if Australians put as much time and effort learning Chinese as the Chinese do in learning English, they'd be just as fluent. It's not easy to learn English either.
Oh, no, but still. Who said that?
JS.
Okay, JS, that might be true, but you've got to agree with me with the writing system, The English writing system you can learn in one afternoon, whereas the Chinese writing system takes you at least 4 or 5 years, I think, of hard slog. So that makes a difference.
Okay, well, I think we'll call an end to the questions because we're past time. And Tammy, do you want to have you got some names for the lucky draw?
Yes.
And then when you read the names, then we'll ask those people to send their postal address to Tammy or put them in the Chun, the 文学社区 Chun. And then I'll mail you some language and linguistic books that I have that are, some of them are a bit old, so they're quite interesting.
Yeah. I think this is a very, very interesting night for me as well. Like, so lovely, especially during the Q&A session. Like, I feel like Graeme is totally become a different teacher. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. And I know now everyone is expecting like who will be the winner of the lucky draw. But can you guys do me a favor? Because it's been whole night, I've been watching all the names without seeing your face. So is it possible, like for now, we just do a really quick snapshot of our Zoom catch up? Like if it is possible to turn on your camera a bit, if not giving a pause or thumbs up reaction, so I can make a screenshot for our social media. Great. Okay, thank you so much. We got some, where's Winnie? Oh, Winnie here again. Yeah.
That's good, but why didn't you have your cameras on before so you could see your face?
Yeah, see, they're so lovely.
Can't eat or, you know, drink alcohol or whatever and be on camera
I
at the same
suppose
time.
so, but it makes a difference if you can see the face. Next time we do this, I'll turn the cameras on so we can. It'll be a lot more fun that way.
Do you guys?
Yeah, my camera is on. Yes.
That's cool. So I would say a 3, 2, 1, so everyone can maybe do something funny or something. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Cheese.
Hi.
Thank you, guys. Okay, since everyone is here now, I feel like there's people in the room. So I will announce tonight the winner of our lucky draw is goes to, I think, Alex Huang, the professional translator, and also Fang, because Fang is very active. And I think, David, you can pick up one of the best question winner. So we have 3 books to send. Yeah.
I think it's a very difficult because there were so many great questions.
That's why I live
I like both Winnie and Jay. Winnie's question was very. I like JS also, so maybe both of them. Yeah.
Sure. Then we also have Winnie and Jay.
I don't know who is JS. What's your name? What's your real name? Jing. JS is, maybe there's an arrest warrant out for you or something. But anyway, okay. So we'll ask the 4 of you to send your postal address. To send it to Tammy. I don't know how they can do that, Tammy, but if you can contact them and by WeChat or something, they can send it. Probably better to put it in the tune. You don't want everyone in the tune to know where you live, I guess. So Tammy, if you can send to Tammy through WeChat, would be the easiest. And then on Monday morning, I'll send you the. Please send by today or tomorrow. So on Monday we can send you the books.
Sure. Let me just quickly set my WeChat ID in the group chat. So yeah, so everyone who wants to contact me can contact me and give me some feedback of tonight's event. Thank you so much, guys. I know the coming. Thank you. So we call it a good night to everyone. Okay.
Thank you, Graeme, Tammy, and thanks to all participants. It was a very enjoyable session, very participatory. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, David. Thank you, Graeme. Thank you, Tammy, for organizing this lesson. Thank you. Have a good night.
All right. Thank you, everybody.